segment 2. We're looking at reading and viewing, and we're looking specifically at texts that give opinion. We're looking at what is a fact and what is an opinion, and texts that express an attitude. We've done the pre-reading task, we've tuned in, and now we're going to read the text. It was written by one of my students, and I've adapted it slightly. How I learned to value a good education. 43%. She has to be kidding. She can't be serious. Sleepless nights of studying, endless days of practicing. I've had it. I'm an A student, for goodness sake. I don't get 43%. That's not what A students do. I know it's not my mother tongue, but I've been speaking English since I could count. How hard can it be? Why are these teachers so heartless? I can barely cope. We all can't. Tests like warheads, exams like silent bombs, projects like AK-47s. I can barely lift my head from my trench. It seems like every time I take a shot with a bigger gun, they have a tank above my head. I'm at a point where I think it's time to raise my white flag. Test after test, 40 after 40, my miserable grade 10 year. Throughout the whole year, it never occurred to me what they were doing. They were teaching me English, good English, standard English. It was only when I was shown some work from another school that I realized how important it was that I got that 40%. If you don't speak good English, you'll never write good English. Some children will never speak good English. When I looked at the other students' poor writing, I knew why I had to know that finite verb, that adjective, that metaphor, that personification. It suddenly didn't matter that I got 40%. I wanted to know how to get that 60%. That's what now mattered. Imagine not being able to write proper English for your CV or your emails. Imagine not being able to speak proper English for your job interview or your clients' meetings. That's a lovely text. I hope you enjoyed it. What we're going to do is take it paragraph by paragraph and do a close reading. Here's paragraph 1. Let's have a look at how it begins. It begins with this 43%. What is she talking about? To what does that refer? Obviously, it's the mark that she got for a particular piece of work. And having read the whole text, we think it's probably for a piece of writing. Look at the second sentence, if that's a sentence at all. She has to be kidding. Notice the writer doesn't tell us who that she is. She can't be serious. As we read on, we realize that that she is the teacher. Now let's talk about attitude. What is Mbali's attitude to her teacher when she says 43%? She has to be kidding. She can't be serious. The attitude is what Mbali is feeling. She's feeling disbelief, indignation. Indignation is when you feel angry at something that is not just. It isn't fair. She's feeling indignation or resentment, but also disbelief and shock. 43%. 43%. This is not what an A student gets. I'm an A student. I don't believe this. It's so unfair. That is her attitude. Then if we look at the next section, she talks about the sleepless nights of studying, endless days of practicing. She's talking about how hard she's had to work. So that explains why she feels that it's so unfair. Then she says, I am an A student. Look down here. I'm an A student, for goodness sake. This is not what A students do. Is Mbali an A student? Is this a fact or an opinion? Difficult. Won't you think about it? If she is an A student, how does she know that? Presumably because of the marks that she's getting in other subjects, possibly the marks she got for English in grade 9. But does that make her an A student? Is this her opinion? Do you see, that's one of these areas where it's not as easy as saying, yes, that's a fact, or yes, that's an opinion. The next question is, what is her mother tongue? She doesn't tell us, is English her mother tongue? No, she says so. I know it's not my mother tongue, so that's a fact. Let's move on and look at paragraph 2. I've underlined certain figures of speech here, like warheads, like silent bombs, like AK-47s. Can you identify the figure of speech? It is a simile. Let's just revise the simile quickly. A simile is a direct comparison between two generally unlike things or actions which have a common quality. So when you have a simile, you've got two things and you are comparing them. And you're saying this is like this, or this is the same as that, or this is different from something else. Remember, similes give your writing more strength, and you need to be able to discuss similes as well. We're going to be moving on, but still looking at reading and viewing in our next segment.